I started working on this film in 2014. The joy behind the film was to try and do this fantasy adventure, and the new thing in it was action on the ships.
It all sounded very grand when I was hearing the sequences, and I was always apprehensive, how are they going to pull this thing off? So I kept asking them.
मुझे लगा कि यार ये हम लोग अगर ये ships का portion है, ये हमने ऑर्गेनिकली फिल्म में अगर आ गया तो शायद हम कोई ऐसी चीज ऑडियंस को दिखा पाएंगे जो नई हो, जिसके अपने चैलेंजेस होंगे, पर अगर वो पुल ऑफ हो गया तो मजा आएगा.
There's a lot of work in this film on the ship, and to be honest, I was concerned about that because it's not something that we've been doing in India in film.
No one has ever shot with the whole 2 life-size ship, so that was the biggest challenge. Like how we are going to crack it.
Let's spend some time on that. Long as you know that there is going to be some big ass ship. We consulted people who have been working on films which have done ships. We consulted people who have been shipbuilders. We consulted engineers. We consulted everybody possible who had a ship related to their name in some way or the other.
And we did multiple recce's. We did all kind of research to do that. But also at some point we thought the water element is something, if we have it live, it'll help us.
At some point, can you tell me what the number is filling up that tank?
The question was where to build this tank, how to build it, how to fill it up with water. And in that we realized that there are very few places in the world which have existing infrastructure for something like this. And Malta was one of them. When we went there and we saw the facility and we saw the people and they had done this before, that's when we sighed a sigh of relief कि ये हो जाएगा.
Building the boats was a challenge in itself. It was a big feat. We knew that we had very little time to do it.
मतलब एक विलेज है इन माल्टा जहाँ पे खाली जहाज बोट्स एंड शिप्स बनाने का काम होता है. एंटायर कारपेंट्री टीम केम फ्रॉम दैट प्लेस. फिर भी चैलेंज था. मेन डेक के आगे फोरकसल डेक, मेन डेक के पीछे स्टीयरिंग डेक के ऊपर पूप डेक, मेन डेक के नीचे लोअर डेक. ये हमें बनाना ही था. पहले वुड को बर्न किया जाता था, उसको सैंडिंग किया जाता था जिससे वो ओल्ड वाला रफनेस आए, और फिर वो वुड हम लोग क्लैड करते थे. एवरी पीस ऑफ दोज वुडन पीसेस सर्कुलर ऑलमोस्ट लाइक अ पुली, दोज आर हैंडमेड. उसके बाद एजिंग कैसे होगा, पेंटर्स जॉब. जहाज को उठा के लेके जाना और फिर उसको पुल करके साइड में रखना. It was nearly a kilometer distance from where we made the ship and where you have to put it.
So the process of building the ships from the design to the final execution, it was a process which lasted longer than a year. There were teams, production designing teams from India and from Malta, and they worked in great synchronicity.
एक्चुअली आप बोल सकते हो जैसे इस फिल्म में एक आमिर खान एक अमिताभ बच्चन हीरो है, वैसे ये 2 जहाज हीरो है एक्चुअली इस फिल्म में.
और जब आप एक्चुअल साइज में उस पीरियड का शिप देखते हैं विद सेल्स एंड एवरीथिंग, वो बहुत मैसिव, एक अलग एक्सपीरियंस होता है.
First we think that, now one challenge is done, we've got Malta. The next challenge that we've built the ship. And now suddenly somebody asks, hang on, we'll wait tomorrow morning. Once the tank is full, we'll know whether the ship is floating or not. Just casually I asked somebody, I said, what is the weight? And they said, sir, that's 2 lakh tons of ship. It's a serious number.
Imagine 2 boats of that magnitude, tons and tons of material. You're filling the tank bit by bit. And then all of a sudden, it starts moving. That is an experience. No matter how much you experience it, it's always a thrill.
Yeah, it's an outstanding moment for all of us. The first ship is floating now.
The boat will remain as a memorial for tugs.
I was quite fascinated to know that they actually built 2 huge ships which could actually sail the sea if you wanted them to. So they were actual real ships that they built.
It was just amazing to see these massive ships constructed.
I love the ships. I think the production design and the people in Malta who've built this have done a fantastic job. So they're there for you to see. I hope the audience likes it as much as I do.